Hey, it's me, Raj Baddhan here on Lyca Radio and Lyca Goals YouTube channel. I'm here with something very special, something very different on our YouTube channel. I'm quite honoured actually to speak to this man because you'll be hearing a lot of things from not just the Met Police but also from my special guest here at the Met Police. And let me tell you, I'm so honoured to be talking to him. He is, of course, the Chief Superintendent at Met Police, Mr. Jeff Boothe. I do want to say, first of all, welcome to Lyca Radio and Lyca Gold, and thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Really pleased to be here.
First of all, I do want to check with you from your positioning. You have got quite a role at the Met Police. Tell me a little bit about what you cover in terms of your position.
So I have a dual role. My primary role initially has been the lead for outreach. Now, outreach is a group of officers and staff. Our key aim is to go out into the community to attract more women and more people from underrepresented groups to consider a career in policing, which is vitally important because we need to be more representative of the communities that we serve. The way that we do that is by building relationships, by going out and building over time true and meaningful engagement. We then look to inform people of the opportunities to join the organisation. There are fantastic opportunities, not just to become a police officer, but if you want to do something in HR, finance, media, these roles are available. And then we look to work with key partners to try and influence people to make that final decision. And once people then do decide to join, my outreach team look to provide all the support that they can get. Now, that's my primary role. I'm now also the Programme Director for the London Race Action Plan, which is looking at improving the policing service for the black community.
Fantastic. You're doing quite a bit there. I do want to ask you also, in terms of your background, how did you get into where you are right now?
Well, I joined policing 32 years ago. I didn't ever see myself being a police officer, but one day somebody gave me the challenge and said, look, why aren't you doing something where you're giving back? And I decided to take on that challenge, and 32 years later, I'm still enjoying that challenge.
How much are you enjoying it with everything that's been going on? It's been quite a time for the Met Police. How would you describe your current kind of scenario in terms of the Met Police and what the kind of publicity that and the PR and you've been getting from the newspaper and the media?
If you're talking specifically about the Baroness Casey review, I believe that the Metropolitan Police Service are at a crossroads. We have an opportunity either to be in denial about what the report states and also in particular around the term institutional racism, or we can accept it fully and demonstrate to the public that we do mean that we want to bring about meaningful change. That will not happen overnight, but I believe the community will be more supportive of us if they believe that we truly want to bring about that change. And the way that you do that is by admitting to your mistakes and asking people to work with you.
Mr. Boothe, I do want to check with you because what happens is that whenever the Met Police is trying to change anything in terms of perception, there's something like a report like this just comes about which kind of tarnishes the image. How much does that affect in terms of the morale in the Met Police and, of course, the rest of the police force?
It's very challenging for the officers that go out on a daily basis. They're having to face the backlash, they're having to hear the comments. But I believe one of the things that whenever you're in adverse circumstances, your true character can come out. My team truly believe in what they're doing, but what is even more important, we have a number of community groups, organisations that are actively working with us. We've provided them with a community outreach fund that helps them to work with us to break down those barriers. A number of those partners have said to us that they are reinforced in their commitment to bringing about the change that they want to see. It's about looking at things from a different perspective.
Would you say this is the most kind of challenging period for you personally in the 32 years that you've been here?
I think it's the most challenging because we've had reports before, but I genuinely believe that we are at a crossroads. I don't think we're going to get a second chance. So I do think we've got to seize it. We've got to work with the community. We've got to be honest. We've also got to be empathetic. We need to show people that we understand why they've got a loss of trust and confidence in us, and you don't repair that overnight. So there's no point in us saying, yes, we're going to change things. Your actions speak louder than words, and that needs to be done over a considerable period of time.
Okay, and what would you say to kind of convince people? I mean, say somebody wants to join the police force, but they have some apprehensions because of the image that's been portrayed outside. It's not going to be something overnight, which you said is going to change. But what would you kind of suggest to them?
Well, within outreach, our catchphrase is "Be the change you want to see." If you are as disgusted as we are in terms of what you've been hearing, what you've been seeing in the report, you have to ask yourself, you can either stand on the outside and point and make comments, or you can join and bring about the change that you want to see. Policing is so important that we've got to have the right people in there. If you think about your friends, your family, your loved ones, when they are in distress, they want to have the confidence that the police officers and police staff are doing the best that they can do. Do you want to have somebody that represents you? Do you want somebody that's got your values? And if you do, you can be part of that change. So we're saying, despite all of the negativity, we want people to be bold, we want to be brave, and make that change and consider joining us, because we want to bring about that change ourselves.
And we're talking, when we mean change, it's change for everyone, really. So even when it comes to women who want to join, but they may be feeling a bit fearful, especially when it comes to South Asians. There's always this stigma that's attached to it, especially when it comes to families, parents not allowing their children to join the police force because it could be dangerous. What's your take on that? And as well as the ethnicity, what about women?
When I said at the beginning, one of the key things for our team is to increase the numbers of women and people from underrepresented groups. But in order for us to do that, we have to work with the family. We have to make sure that they fully understand what support is available. We have over 40 staff support associations that are there to provide that support to anybody that joins the organisation. We have a responsibility for anybody that's considering joining. My outreach team will sit down, will explain the process, but also explain what ongoing support that they can get. But we also explain it to the family, because they will need the support when they're not at work, when they go home, to feel that they're also supported. So it's a team effort, and it is a wider policing family support that brings about that lasting change.
I just want to ask you another question that cropped up as well, to do with, say, if you were to give advice to your former self, what kind of advice would you give your former self, knowing the situation that you're in right now?
Good question. I would say that keep doing what you're doing, because real change comes with persistence, tenacity, and as long as you know you're doing the right thing, and you're doing it in partnership. I work in a fantastic team. I've got people from very, very wide backgrounds. Over 60% of my team are from underrepresented groups. 65% of them are women. And they challenge me every single day to be as professional and improve the service that we give. So I'd say to my younger self, join outreach, join the Met, and bring about the change you want to see.
Fantastic. Great way to end the interview. And I just want to say, Lyca Radio and Lyca Gold are absolutely privileged to be speaking to you today for this very special moment. And not just that, but we are here as a community to support the Met Police. So we will do anything to work with you to make sure we get the message out there.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to working with you more in the future. Thank you. Hi, I'm Jeff Boothe. I'm a Chief Superintendent within the Metropolitan Police. And my advice to you is, if you want to bring about change to policing, please consider a career in joining the Met Police.